travelers, Mag and I here on day 167 of our trip around the United States. So for now, we're all done with Oklahoma, and it's going to be a little bit before we get back into Texas. We've come back into Arkansas, and we're going to be spending the next 4 days completing all of the counties and pages on the southern end of the state before we go ahead and drop down into Mississippi. This morning, we're getting things started off from the overlook here on Mount Magazine. And in just a minute, we're going to take the Signal Trail up to the highest point in the state of Arkansas. And I can't think of a better way to start our downhill trip through Arkansas to finish off the state than going uphill to the highest point in the state. Our route for today has us covering about 280 miles as we make our way steadily east. We'll come around through Danville and then drop into Hot Springs. When we get to Hot Springs, there's a lot of earth caches there that we're very interested in looking. So with a little luck, we'll still have enough daylight on our side to go ahead and be able to do that. If we don't, it's possible we may actually stop there tonight and break our day a little separately down for tomorrow. It's one of those things we'll have to feel out as we go. Once we finish up in Hot Springs, we're going to go ahead and finish our loop heading up toward Oklahoma, but we will not be crossing into Oklahoma today. No matter how the day shakes out, that's going to happen tomorrow. For today, our goal is going to be making sure we get up to the highest point straight from here and hoping that we can hit Hot Springs by the end of the day. So let's see if we can make it. Come on, let's go.
Coming into Arkansas out of Oklahoma, our first stop for the day was Boonville in Logan County with a population of around 4,000 people. Located in the Arkansas River Valley between the Ouachita and Ozark Mountains, this city is one of the oldest in western Arkansas. The Veterans Memorial located here in the park got our day started off just right. It features a dedication to the first detachment of the 239th Engineer Company. Our road up to the Magazine Mountain Overlook also brought us past the Petite Jean River. Aichan and I both enjoyed the smells and the sight of the river slowly flowing down its course before we stopped off to find a geocache located nearby. Then we were officially ready to take on the biggest part of our day, our journey into Mount Magazine State Park. Mount Magazine is a 2,234-acre park located on the eastern end of Logan County. It has been continuously inhabited since the 1850s. While it was first part of the Ouachita National Forest in 1938, it was redesignated as a part of the Ozark National Forest in 1941. The best view in the park cannot be seen from the high point, but rather from one of the many viewing areas near the lodge on top of Mount Magazine. Heading just a short ways off the walking trail around the lodge will provide you an amazing view of the Petite Jean River Valley and the distant Blue Mountain Lake. To reach the highest point in the state of Arkansas, you will need to take the Signal Hill Trail up to the top. There are entrance points to this trails north, south, and east of the high point, all connecting to the same place. Like most mountain trails, the distance may seem short at first. For us, it was only about 1,000 feet from the trailhead to the top of the mountain. But like most mountain trails, there's no such thing as a straight line. We slowly made our way to the top, setting a nice, easy pace so that Aichan could enjoy all of the smells along the way without overexerting herself. As expected, what looks like 1,000 feet straight up from the trailhead ended up being closer to 3/4 of a mile once we finished wrapping our way all the way around the mountain to the top. At very least though, Signal Hill truly does live up to its name. While our cell phones were dead the entire ascent up Mount Magazine, once we reached the top, we had full 5 bars once again. Aichan immediately called her dogs to let them know what she had just done.
One of the things that's always a lot of fun about visiting high points is that they have a guest log. So you can go ahead and sign on the guest log and let them know that you're here. It's kind of like a geocache log. Although I'm not getting a smiley on the map, I enjoy signing these logbooks just as much.
Coming back down the mountain was significantly easier than making our way up, and we treated ourselves to a viewpoint at the Cameron Bluff Amphitheater, which dates all the way back to 1939, before heading off to the trails in pursuit of a few finds. And rather than searching for micros in the woods, we were treated to a couple of ammo cans that were very much appreciated. Now let's have a look and see what might be inside this little prize. Not too bad, a few items available for trade, and most importantly, everything inside is nice and dry. Alright, just one more ammo can and then we'll go ahead and make our way back down the mountain again. It's easy to tell that this one has been out here for quite some time, but like the other we found, it had lots of swag to trade and everything inside was in great condition. Just pull out the candy and it's good to go. Our day became unexpectedly difficult once we reached Danville in Yell County. All of the targets that we had originally identified and everything that we looked at on the map was having issues, so we detoured down to the Cardin Point Recreation Area along the shores of Nimrod Lake before we were finally successful enough to begin making finds again. Once we cleared the hurdle of Yell County, everything fell right back into place, and we were able to make our way from one to the next without any further issues. In fact, just east of the Yell County line, in Perry County, there are an abundance of geocaches to choose from in Lake Nimrod. We picked out a couple, made the finds, and then got on our way. We would spend the rest of our day from there, tracking from one earth cache to the next, seeing the natural state in all of its splendor. Most of the structures that we came across here in the Ouachita National Forest were built by the Civilian Conservation Corps, most of them as far back as in the 1930s. Each time you find yourself fortunate enough to locate a roadside park with shelters and restrooms, you can be sure that it was constructed around some kind of natural feature that was worth coming out to see. At this roadside park, we enjoyed seeing the Iron Springs, which was running at just a trickle before making our way over to the low Fieldstone Dam. It seems like no matter where you go in this area, you are in for a spectacular view. Our final stop of the day would bring us into Hot Springs, located just on the edge of Hot Springs National Park. While on the map, with the abundance of earth caches, I had been under the impression that this was going to be a small town, and I could not be any more wrong on that. With a population of around 38,000, this is already the 11th most populous city in Arkansas. Add on top of that the fact that this is a resort town, and the hot springs give people an opportunity to enjoy the outdoors and getting in the water all year long, and there are tourists on the street to no end, even in December. The town was built around the hot springs, and in total, there are 47 natural thermal water springs that flow down the western slope of Hot Springs Mountain in the historic downtown district of the city. The flow rate of these springs is also not affected by fluctuations in the rainfall, so you can expect to see water all year long. Interestingly, scientists have determined that the water emerging from these springs originally fell as rainfall around 4,400 years ago. That water, ever so slowly, percolates down through the Earth's surfaces till it reaches the superheated areas deep in the crust, and then it rushes rapidly to the surface to emerge from the hot springs throughout the town. Needless to say, there is not a single street in the downtown area where you won't be able to walk around, encounter hot water flowing out of the ground and creating quite a spectacle.
All right, travelers, that's going to do it for our day. We've made it to Hot Springs, and we were fortunate enough to be able to make it here with a little bit of daylight on our side so we can appreciate the springs and other natural geological features here that are pointed out by the several earth cache listings. That's really more than I could have hoped for, because I expected the sun to be down by the time we got here. Sometimes you get the little victory, and I'm going to take what I can get. From here, we still have about 3 counties left to finish out our day. I'm not sure if we're going to make it to the end of that list, but it's not really a big deal either way. We're going to get to where we can get, and we'll make up the difference tomorrow when we start into our miles. What I did not expect today, however, was for Hot Springs to be such a bustling place. I expected this to be a small, quiet mountain town. Coming into the off season, that it is not. There are people everywhere on the streets, and all the businesses are open and booming with people coming in and out. This is definitely a place to come visit and hang out for a weekend with friends and family and enjoy yourself while getting to tour around some scenic sites. Thank you guys for joining us today as we start our way back into Arkansas. Like this video, subscribe to Stay Tuned for daily updates, and we'll see you out on the trails.